everybody, and if you're just joined us, thank you for coming. So it's now time for the hotly anticipated Sustainable Hospitality Challenge. It's an initiative by Hotelschool The Hague that brings together young talent with industry organisations to reimagine the future of hospitality. So this year, there were more than 40 universities from around the world that competed. And for the first time, it included leading international architecture, technology, and design universities. We have a stellar lineup of judges. It looks like a who's who of the hospitality sector right here. And they selected the 5 finalists who join us here today to present their concepts. So massive luck to everybody here today. You're all going to nail it, I'm sure. So now it's time for me to hand over to our moderator, Paul Griep, the founder of the Sustainable Hospitality Challenge and the Director of Industry Relations and Alumni at Hotelschool The Hague. He's going to take it from here. Thanks, Paul.
Good afternoon, everybody. Guys, are you ready for pitching or what? Yeah, all right. For those of you that haven't experienced this yet, impact is really what we are after. And when I say impact, impact on our industry, when it comes to, of course, sustainability. Why? Because it's a good cause. It's for our children. It's for the animals. It's for nature. We want to make an impact on our industry. And we're moving towards that by means of delivering actual products that our industry can implement and apply so that we apply better sustainable practices. And for those of you that know me, I'm a big fan of Einstein. He has some brilliant quotes. Those who have the privilege to know have the duty to act. For me, dealing with this next generation on a daily basis, it's no longer a question of, oh, nice to have, or a trend. No, this is a must-have, and they make their decisions accordingly, which is so often forgotten. And we cannot do this, of course, if we keep thinking the same way. So we encourage that thinking outside the box. And the only way that we can do this, and I just mentioned that in the jury briefing as well, because I'm super grateful for the jury sitting here, is if we collaborate. We can only do this if we all collaborate. So what we have seen in the past years is we let go of the eco, we park that, we let go of the competition a little bit, and we collaboratively seek solutions to make this a better and more friendly planet. So in the collaboration, we work with a lot of partners, all the brands. A lot of the brand CEOs are sitting here, industry executives, but also very proud that we have the bench on board. That's why we can be standing on this stage. Or the Sustainable Hospitality Alliance. So Glenn is in the jury today as the CEO of the Sustainable Hospitality Alliance. WTTC. It's exciting to know that the winner of this challenge will be presenting on the WTTC Summit in Rwanda. So proud to have them as a partner. And then, of course, our biggest sponsor, it being NEOM. The epiphany of when it comes to sustainable practices. A quick round as to where we came from. We started with close to 50 hotel schools in collaboration with tech, design, and engineering. They went through a qualifying round, and then 20 were selected to attend the semifinals in Amsterdam, which took place in June. A lot of the jury members are actually also active in some of the brands that we see here today. And then from those 25 were then selected to come here to Abu Dhabi and do the final pitch right here, right now. How exciting is that? So who are they? These are the 5 finalist teams. We have Hotel Management School Maastricht in collaboration with Münster School of Architecture. We have Hotelschool The Hague in collaboration with Nanyang Technical University, Singapore. We have Cornell University, the winners of last year, by the way. We have Culinary Institute of America, first-time participant, made it to the final in collaboration with Southern California Institute of Architecture. And then we have Milano Politecnico, very, very interesting as well. Amazing that they're here in the finals. The case this year, I'm not going to elaborate a half an hour about the case, but the theme of the case is one with nature. For those of you that have seen what NEOM is doing, of course, an incredible amount of space, and we're looking for solutions integrated in nature. But at the same time, whereby there's a permanent mind switch in the travelers. Aspects of regeneration, sustainability, innovation, respecting nature, giving back to nature. Who are our jury members? I'm sure you've all seen it already on the FHS site or in the booklet. These are our jury members. And I want to say once again, for them to spend the time reading all the decks, guys, that's a lot of work, trust me. And being here and jurying this, a massive thank you. Thank you, guys. That means I'm ready. Question is, are you guys ready? Yes. All right. So who's up first? First one's up, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for the first team, Culinary Institute of America, together with Southern California Institute of Architecture. Good luck, guys.
Howdy, everybody. As we get this pitch started, I have a couple of questions for us. Number one, where does your food come from? I mean, really, where does your food come from? When you dine in a restaurant, how incredible would it be to know that that restaurant was able to make all of its own produce and still have more than enough to spare for local communities and markets? What about this? As we move away from oil infrastructure, what happens to everything that's left behind? What about those oil refineries? And my last question, climate change and the climate crisis has been a problem since yesterday, and we need to be able to empower people and communities to make change today. How are we going to do that? I'm Anthony.
I'm Christy.
I'm Jack.
I'm Andrew, and we are Fitosi, an innovative food hall rooted in feasibility and sustainability. We are focused on solving food insecurity and the repurposing of decommissioned oil infrastructure.
It's my pleasure to once more battle stage fright in order to talk to all of you guys about Fitosi's architectural vision. There are 50,000 oil storage silos sitting on over 800 refineries worldwide. And the key architectural problem for our generation is going to be what to do with these sites as they come offline. Fitosi's vision is founded in a truly architecturally sustainable technique of adaptive reuse. Architecture charged with reuse over demolition as a means of mitigating the up to 40% of global carbon emissions that come from the building industry. Using innovative techniques like bioremediation and rewilding, Fitosi is in deep embrace of nature. And all of this in an effort to create a regenerative urban fabric, one that brings beauty, accessibility, and critical cultural infrastructure to the places we build. It's also my treat to discuss the major role sustainable farming has at Fitosi. Using a plethora of aeroponic and hydroponic techniques, we will become a beacon of quality culinary production. And this is just a taste of what we can grow. Our positive impact will undoubtedly improve the influence, reputation, and perception of the partners we build with and the spaces we can create together.
You would never expect to walk into an old oil refinery and see life. Until now. Fitosi's Food Hall is a culinary experience and destination like no other. Between laughter and moving crowds, the sizzle of food on the grill flares as you're drawn to the aromas of a nearby restaurant. Fitosi's embrace of nature drives our unique experience. Get your hands on the greens that we, and you as a visitor, help us produce on property, and you won't have to worry about where your food is coming from anymore. As we look forward to our new future, we look for a new, greener future.
Fitosi is unique in that while it is providing food security, it is simultaneously creating community spaces. Our public initiatives show how Fitosi is a cultural necessity. Now, this idea of retrofitting old infrastructure into new community-oriented spaces is still relatively new. Here, we have an example of 5 decommissioned jet fuel tanks that have been repurposed into a community art center. Tank Shanghai is a proof of concept that people can reoccupy these spaces. Fitosi is taking this idea to new heights. Fitosi will benefit guests through its public programming that consists of community-supported agriculture and educational workshops that ethically and feasibly show people how to improve their local environments. After consulting with one of the leading experts in hydroponic farming, Dr. Howard Resch, he expressed that Fitosi's food hall would only require 20% of the produce grown on site. And with that remaining 80%, it became clear that we can offer NEOM the essential service of providing sustainably grown local produce that ensures food security. What better way to be a part of a community than by feeding it? We may not be offering NEOM a place to stay, but we are offering them a seat at our table.
But that isn't to say we can't offer them a place to stay, because this is Fitosi Phase 2, and I'd love to give you all a sneak peek. As our footprint grows, so does our ability to diversify both our back-of-house and front-of-house capability. For our partnered micro-restaurants, that means the chance to incorporate small-scale customization and experimentation on their menus. But for our guests, it means the chance to incorporate themselves with Fitosi more intimately. We are thrilled about the opportunity to have lodging on site as a means to further develop our communities. I've identified sites near and far where Fitosi can grow to as Phase 2 brings our concept to the world.
Our business revolves around the success of our vendors and their retention with us. Through giving them exclusive and full access to our hydroponic and aeroponic facilities, our vendors are able to lower food costs as well as their carbon footprint, while we collect 30% of their sales. An additional source of revenue also comes from their lease agreements with us and our cultural and educational programs. We still have more revenue coming in through clients' exclusive access rights outside of our vendors for access to our hydroponic and aeroponic facilities. And now I get it. That's all great, but what about the numbers? What about the money? By year 4, with only our food hall, we're able to hit our break-even point. And by year 9, we're able to see $30.25 million of profit. Pure profit. Fitosi is seeking $65 million for our funding, and we have founder-level investment at $6.5 million. Through feeding NEOM and the world, repurposing old oil infrastructure and refineries, and by empowering new and current generations how to realistically implement change to fight climate change, we're ready today. Fitosi is immediately implementable. Can we count on your support? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just for the rest of the audience, it's a 7-minute pitch, after which we do some Q&A with the jury members. Who can I give the word first to ask a question to this team? Dimitris.
Hello. Great to see you.
Great glass frames competitor. Well done.
Appreciate it.
Well done. Just for the sake of not just you, but the rest of the presenters, public speaking is what every CEO is worried after death. So you've done phenomenally well. So it's not easy to stand up there and present. So well done.
Thank you.
Just on the actual silos, have you identified, and what is your business pitch to those who actually own the silos? I mean, I know that you said Aramco and
Yeah.
so is there, because I realize that you're going to break even, but these are expensive, silos, right?
Yeah.
Even if they are abandoned at some point. What is the pitch? How are you going to persuade me that I am Aramco and I own, I don't know, 10 of those in the desert about your concept?
A bit more than 10.
Yeah,
But
100, whatever.
no, we offer companies like Aramco and other large oil businesses an opportunity to give back to the local community and add some life to these spaces. That doesn't mean these facilities need to shut down. We're still able to operate with some of that activity. But as we're straying away from crude oil, as we're venturing more towards this greener, more sustainable future that's reliant on electric cars, EVs, and everything, we're offering them an ability to continue to engage with the community and have them interested in these spaces and in these industries and in those businesses. So we offer them that, I would say.
I mean, these are private, dark, unknowable spaces right now to the public, and the opportunity to open them up, become critical cultural infrastructure, as we were saying. This is hugely valuable to a company looking to,
especially with their PR. Yeah.
Other questions? Haitham.
Great job, guys. Really well done.
appreciate it.
Great idea. I just have one question for clarification, and that was $65 million was what exactly?
So that's 65 million. I know it's confusing because you saw with year 9 that we were generating 30.2. Yeah, that million amount. Well, that's because, and I believe I was speaking with Colin about this earlier, actually. That 30 million in profit is solely from our food hall alone. And with that 80% of produce that isn't going to the food hall, we're actually entering another industry on top of hospitality, and that's the agriculture industry, and being able to supply food. So that's going to be a completely different revenue stream that borderline trumps the hospitality sector. I mean, we're looking at Saudi Arabian agriculture companies that are generating between millions and billions of dollars a year, and we would be entering that market as well.
And to answer your question about the $65 million figure, that's paying for Fitosi Phase 1, which is our first sort of flagship location. We've identified sites in and around northwestern Saudi Arabia for that. Yeah.
And that's for the development of the hydroponic facilities especially.
Now, the sites you identified, are they accessible?
To the extent that if we work with corporate partners, the landowners, the companies, we've begun to reach out to those.
No, I mean, are they accessible to the population?
Oh, yes.
Can I
yes, I
drive
think
there?
one of the biggest confusions with these facilities is that they're in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
It doesn't suit anyone to have these in the middle of nowhere. They're often hidden in plain sight in the middle of cities. I remember in Amsterdam, I used the example of downtown Los Angeles. There's a massive Chevron storage facility in the middle of LA. These sites, the first site that I picked was 20 minutes from the Oxagon, which is a large-scale NEOM project. I'm not sure on the timeline, but in terms of accessibility, it's not far from cities.
Okay, I get the sustainability part on using those or repurposing those silos.
Yeah.
The biggest part of sustainability for you is potentially the food.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right? So what would be much more cost effective, to go and repurpose the silos or actually have these hydroponic food halls built anywhere conveniently where you're not restricted by the location of the silos, for example?
So the benefit of using these oil refineries is that it allows for a different form of hydroponic farming. I know that we might all be familiar with a company called Aero Farms that uses these large warehouse spaces. And when we consulted with Dr. Howard Resch, who, by the way, he constructed the program for the first hotel that was fully sustained with produce grown on site. All grown on site, none of it using traditional farming. It was all hydroponics and greenhouse. And in this situation, that warehouse farming doesn't make sense. It is an extremely solitary system. It doesn't allow the grower to physically work with the produce. And with this rotary system, and with these systems that Jack pointed out, we're actually able to have the grower be with the plant and actually take care of it. And another issue with those warehouses is that, they say you don't need pesticides. According to Dr. Howard Resch, that's completely incorrect, and these spaces are extremely susceptible to disease. And when you have that stationary system, you're unable to protect the entire crop yield.
And have you consulted with a proper farming consultant to consider weather conditions in NEOM?
So we did actually have a small conversation, well, not so small. We had a very good conversation with the Cornell Agricultural Extension, and they were able to give us a lot of information detailing different areas, growing zones, and produce. And at the end of the day, especially in the Saudi and Middle Eastern environment, the most reasonable and cost-effective way is actually hydroponic farming. It is the most resource preservative while also respecting space and not using land that otherwise should be preserved just for agriculture. We already have that problem in so many other places. We don't need to try and reinvent the wheel in a different space when we already have this beautiful solution in front of us.
And on top of that, we also spoke with a Boston-based company called Freight Farms, and I believe you saw Jack shipping container designs. Thank you for those. And that Freight Farms, we spoke with them and consulted with them, and they expressed that those systems are even more ideal for that customization for each chef within a Fitosi food hall. Is that they get to customize their own shipping container to meet the produce needs for their establishment.
Great, well done,
All right.
lady and gentlemen. Well done.
First of all, it's not easy to start off as a first team. I think you guys did absolutely brilliant. Me personally, I can't wait to actually sit in one of these things and when it's reality. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
All right, exciting. We're ready for our second team, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Hotel Management School Maastricht, together with the Münster School of Architecture. Good luck, guys.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Dear ladies and gentlemen of the jury, sponsors and invited guests, we are honored to be finalists with you today to bring you UNWTO. UNWTO is an innovative community building lodging concept that is luxurious, exciting, economically regenerative, which is also commercially and technologically sound and achievable. UNWTO is an investment of $35 million with an average ROI of 10.4%. UNWTO brings together the three great teams of harmony, naturistic, and purpose. It is upon these pillars that it creates net positive outcomes for its planet, for its people, but also for the places where it will operate. At heart, UNWTO is about giving space and time to breathe, to be part of a community, all of which is simply not possible in the city. UNWTO breaks the mold. There is no more extraordinary, powerful purpose in luxury hospitality than being at one with nature.
Maria, do you think the jury is ready to discover UNWTO with us?
Yes, Daisy. I think it's time to activate one of the UNWTO's gateway. So if I may ask the jury members to raise the keychains and press on UNWTO's logo in 3, 2, 1. Amazing, you just activated your own gateway. The popping up is the starting point of UNWTO's mindset, to let you experience nature without any reminder of urbanization, to create harmony with ourselves and others, the first pillar of UNWTO.
Our second pillar, naturistic, is vital. It embodies the harmonious meaning of nature and the future.
Regeneration is at UNWTO's core. Each gateway has the capacity to regenerate the area by creating its own ecosystem.
However, all of this is simply not possible without our third pillar, purpose, creating a powerful community.
Purpose and community are basic human needs. Becoming at one with nature calls for the use of our community-building approach to enable the seekers to belong. This is driven by the local ambassadors to bring strategic community investment to the forefront.
Bosch, Hattic, and the Institute for Biomimicry Innovations bring the emerging technologies to the table to make the union of the pillars possible. The design, materials, and hydraulics needed to build, operate, and maintain UKIO.
Dear UKIO team, Glenn Mandziuk just booked a trial stay to one of the UKIO getaway.
Well, Glenn, how wonderful. Well, let's get right going with that trial stay. But before we travel to UKIO, you first receive a welcome card and a map of the getaway you've chosen. Furthermore, with the VR glasses, you will enter the digital world of UKIO to personalize your stay by choosing your own activities.
But wait, if Glenn is going to UKIO, then he's no longer just Glenn. No, he is a seeker.
Yes, but Valentina, who are these seekers?
Well, I will explain it to you. Glenn is now an adventure traveler who's about to experience mental and physical freedom, and he can reconnect to nature again. He will leave the world a better place, together with the local community he visits. He has a full-time job, a high income, and an increasing purchase power, which makes him willing to pay more for an authentic experience.
In collaboration with NEOM, the welcome location of UKIO will be situated at their community hubs. Here, the ambassadors will welcome you. But how lucky we are today that we have one of our ambassadors here with us. Mr. Halim, would you be so kind to wave with us? Thank you so much.
The local ambassadors, like Halim, are experts, and they know how to take care of the area best. Their main function is to foster social circularity by inspiring the seekers to take the UKIO mindset home. They are from different generations and expertise. They deeply care about the environment and the culture, and they're willing to share their knowledge.
From the community hub, the ambassadors will take you in a helicopter to your getaway. After activating it, the stay will be completely personalized with the choices you made in the digital world before arrival.
Some examples could be wildlife spotting whilst the animals are still in their natural habitat.
Or sunset dinners in the desert with other seekers to accelerate co-creation.
UKIO experience combine exploration, nature, and community.
And now, a very exclusive pop-up just for you.
The financials. To enter the top market luxury in 2026, we would like to ask you for a total investment of $35 million, in which we will build 30 getaways in NEOM. The cost per getaway is $1 million, and the remaining $5 million would be allocated for the infrastructure cost of the community hubs. The seeker will pay the admission fee of $4,000 for 2 nights trial. After the trial, the seeker can become part of the community and pay the yearly community involvement fee of $22,500 for a 3 keychain activation each 3-night stay. In year 1, UKIO will have a number of 850 seekers with a cash flow of $3.7 million, which will result us in an average return on investment of 10.4% in the first 10 years.
But, Mr. Colin, I see some questions on your mind. No booking systems? Only annual fees? Valentina, would you be so kind and explain why UKIO fills a current gap in the hospitality industry?
Of course. It's because the world is shifting to embrace community building, and it is this moment that hospitality concepts need to shift as well if we want to reach full potential. We need to achieve destination stewardship to ensure that the wants and needs of the people and the places are satisfied.
With your investment, UKIO will redefine hospitality with its community building approach and will enable the seeker to satisfy their human needs and reconnect to nature.
The fact that seekers can become ambassadors themselves is the base of UKIO scalability, since new ambassadors bring new areas to discover and regenerate. Harmony, naturistic, purpose. With these 3 pillars, UKIO will have a bright future by expanding into deserts, coasts, forests, and mountains in 40 countries by 2040.
And as our stay is coming to an end, we're already looking forward to your next keychain activation, wherever that may be.
UKIO, connecting by hiding.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions from the jury?
Maybe I'll go first.
Karin. Sorry.
Thank you very much. That was a very interactive presentation. I was wondering, you're bringing travelers to places in the world that are actually still very pristine. So how have you guys thought about reducing the impact of the pods and the subsequent travel, from barbecues and wildlife watching, because we know many tourists have a negative impact on the environment, right?
Yes, so UKIO was from the start aware of with the building, the construction, but also operating. So for example, with being near the community hubs, those are our central points in collaboration with NEOM, so already a focus on that sustainability. However, UKIO will also create very own ecosystems. So the energy that is being generated whilst a room or a getaway is in use will then be transmitted into creating an ecosystem. So we give back even more what we take by building and creating the pods.
Sandeep.
Yeah, first of all, I think when we talk about experiential luxury and experiences, I think this is a wonderful idea. So congratulations on the presentation.
Thank you.
While you were presenting, when one tries to connect with sustainability as one of the pillars, you're looking at these pods being in remote areas. What do you think of the cost, the amount of energy that you'll be required to transport food and beverage services and other things? Would that kind of somewhere counter what you're saving on the whole pillar of sustainability?
I can talk about the transport logistics real quick. To bring our getaways to life, we are splitting up the construction in two parts. The movable parts, which go up and down, will be pre-assembled off-site. So we have the reliable production, the necessary quality, and the station, then after the production, it only has to be brought to site on one truck. The stationary parts, so the subterranean structures, will be 3D printed on-site. We do that because we have the perfect resource on-site, which is, of course, the natural sand. You only need to bring a small amount of binder, and the sand and the binder combined make up a material which is 3D printable. And you not only need the 3D printer. Yeah.
Sorry, just to add to that model and maybe ask a couple of practical questions, because then around climate control, supply of water, I mean, how do you see that infrastructure being built into these? Because this is not the most welcoming climate, so you need climate control, you need flowing water, you need services, which is going to require some level of excavation, no?
First of all, we're going to collect electricity with the solar panels, which are integrated in the facade and the roof as well. And we're going to have such panels on the rooftop, so the building can collect energy while it is underground as well. And the water will be provided with fog nets, which are going to be positioned around the building.
Guys, thanks. So I thought the concept was really, really nice, something very unique. And I like the way that you've sort of hooked yourself into that subscription world, which is quite a new world, instead of just paying up front. That's quite a unique option. I'd like to know how you want to connect with that many people that are going to pay a subscription up front, and had you thought about that? And a very simple question, if you're going to run at 70% occupancy, why does the pod still need to go up and down? Because it's going to be up more than it's going down, and I can imagine the engineering logistics of moving up and down is quite substantial and probably badly wearing on the product as well.
Yes, so on part of the whole community involvement fee, we've chosen that based on two pillars. One is on a financial department, being that with the yearly fee, we have seekers who are then for 1 year set already. We don't have the risk of a booking system, late night cancellations, switching ADRs based on seasonality. On the other hand, we have a lot of guest retention and an extra guest experience, because our seekers become part of a community for the long term since day one. This will really make them part of the UKO mindset. And then with the occupancy, if I'm not mistaken, the 70% you were asking, the going up and down. Okay, perfect. So with the going up and down, as you could have seen just on the map, we start with 30 getaways. Each getaway will be of max 20 minutes from the community hub, also in regards to safety measurements. But with the 70% occupancy, we also enable the seekers with those 3 keychain activations to not just be, let's say, obliged to go to one of the getaways only. They can choose every getaway they want. So in that, we will create also that a lot of getaways will go down. We've chosen that they will go down as well based on the activities, so that our seekers are not reminded of urbanization whilst they go with the local ambassadors on adventures or exploring nature.
And for the technical side of the question, we are relying on a tested system. We are using the lifting platforms of lifting garages. People all over the world are hiding their luxurious cars under the earth to protect them from nature. And we are adapting this system to hide our building. We are combining that system with sustainable hydraulics by Bosch, which are especially made for hot climates.
Thank you very, very much. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much.
Maastricht University.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, third one up. They have no pressure because Cornell was the winner last year. Ladies and gentlemen, Cornell University. Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you.
Great. Growing up, I spent countless hours in the ocean. My mother, whose name is Marjan, which means coral in Arabic, made sure that I explored reefs all around the world. But over time, I began to witness the decay of these crucial and vital ecosystems, and I've dreamt that one day we could see a solution. Well, today, it's time to make that dream a reality. My name is Milad.
I'm Franca.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm the other Ryan.
And we are proud to invite you all to Al Marjan, the world's first entirely underwater resort. Al Marjan represents a new frontier in regenerative hospitality, offering humans the opportunity to live in harmony with the ocean and be one with nature.
At Al Marjan, nature is the architect. So before we even designed a hotel, we designed a coral nursery. Our main structures are inspired by the form of the local coral. And in our nursery, we're applying a technique called microfragmenting, where we take pieces of healthy, climate change-resistant corals local to the Red Sea and cut them into pieces, just the size of a fingernail. These cuttings are then attached on nets and placed on the roofs and all along the side of our structures. As a result, after 6 months, we can transplant more than 1.3 million corals into reefs around the world.
Al Marjan is located in a 400 acres protected bay surrounded by the most beautiful corals, just moments away from Sindala Island.
Let's take a moment to define 2 aspects of our resorts. We have coralites and non-chase. Coralites are our anchored structures where every aspect is vital. The outside plays host to the coral reefs, while the inside serves as our entirely underwater resort. In order to cater to our guest needs and wants, we will have 3 of these structures. The first is for socializing in the food and beverage outlets. The second is for the spa and recreation. And the third is for our research initiatives. Together, this forms our guest journey, a life of eternal knowledge.
Let's take a look at the Nanche Suites, which are Al Marjan's private mobile guest rooms. We'll have 10 of them throughout our resort. And they offer the guests the unprecedented opportunity to design their own subaquatic adventure. And the inside plays host to 75 square meters of most exquisite state-of-the-art living spaces and highest technology to ensure safety throughout.
Now, why don't we have these 2 twinning Ryans take you through the guest journey at Al Marjan?
Shall we?
I guess we should.
So guests will come to Al Marjan on our catamaran where they will sail out to the Red Sea and find their surface non-chase suites. There, they will dive beneath the depths of the surface.
Well, that sounds incredible, but how would our guests even know how to drive a submarine?
That's a good point, and luckily they don't have to, because we have autopilot technology to guide the Nanche from docking station at Corelight to Corelight.
And the guest journey starts at the Al Hayat Corelight, meaning life in Arabic. It's the social epicenter and pulsing beat of our resort. So imagine sitting face to face with the world's most beautiful coral reefs.
Dining on the freshest of foods grown in our aquaponic gardens.
And our guests will chat with their loved ones or turn complete strangers into friends.
Meanwhile, their Nanche suite will be refreshed and recharged for their journey.
So the guests will re-enter their home away from home and enjoy the beautiful journey that will take them to the spa,
where they will find the first and only underwater infinity pool.
So welcome to the Al-Abad Spa, standing for eternal, as our spa cherishes an approach to wellness circling around physical and mental well-being.
Every treatment and touch point here is inspired by the longevity of the corals just above the guest heads.
Listen, Ryan, these are incredible experiences, but what about that transformational experience? Where is that happening?
That's where our research center, the Al-Ilm Corelight, comes into play. Right, Ryan?
Yes. So here the guest journey is a little more academic. Every touch point will ensure that when our guests leave Al Marjan, they know how to live a life at one with nature.
Through partnering with NEOM schools, local communities will have the opportunity to have a similar experience at the Al-Ilm Corelight. Our initiative, the Open Day Initiative, happens once a week when our resort turns over and invites students into the Al-Ilm Corelight. And through this programming, we will inspire the next generation.
And as the sun is about to set, the guests will surface their private Nanche suite to enjoy the fresh air and take a dip in the warm Red Sea.
Now, our concept is not hypothetical, but rather the result of months of consultation. Consultation with industry-leading experts in submarine technology, marine biology, and ultra-remote luxury hospitality ventures.
And thanks to these consultations, we have a development cost of $200 million. We have an ADR of 34,000 with a 7-year payback and 11% IRR.
With these numbers, we'll be able to replicate and bring the unique concept of Al Marjan to areas around the world that are in deep need of coral regeneration.
And to jumpstart our mission, we have made a donation to the Coral Reef Alliance in the name of the judges present here today.
This positions us, with your generous help, to create Al Marjan, a development leading a wave of change that will allow us all to be one with nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Al Marjan. Questions from the jury on this ambitious project? They're still thinking.
Ryan.
Haitham.
How does your project is considered unique, considering other underwater resorts?
So we looked at various options, what is out there, and the current offerings of underwater stays are so static rooms that are part of a greater resort that have a component which is above water. So the experience of the underwater is always combined with an above water experience. What we wanted to offer is a true underwater immersion. That's why our entire resort, or the entire experience, happens under the sea level. So I think there we truly differentiate ourselves with having a sole component of being underwater, and the current offerings also don't include any mobile aspect. So it's always a static place where you are in a given spot and don't have that ability to create your own journey or pathway to experience that.
Very good. One more question from me is on scalability. We talked about 10 units. Is that what you...
Yes, correct.
Yeah. How scalable is this?
So with that option of that we have proposed right now, we try to create a very intimate and very personalized concept, given the 10 Nanche suites that we have. If you look at a more greater scale, of course, this is a number that can be extended. But with the purpose of creating a very low impactful development, given this restricted number also is aligned with a sustainable development. So we would never look at a resort that would host over 50 Nanches per se. But it's definitely something that through further research can be adapted to the given local area, as this concept is not tied to one specific area on the globe. It gives access to be developed in wherever there's coral reefs and wherever there's a given condition.
Sorry, if I can
Dimitris.
ask just
Sorry, Guy first.
One more question. So, I mean, super creative and very well presented and very well thought through. I mean, it's very interestingly done. A question, though, to you in terms of, this is a very limited scale, just building on Haitham's questions with 10 units. And so one, limited scale, and two, it's a 1%er concept, right? So there's 1% of the world is going to spend $25,000 to $30,000 a night for a room. So I mean, how do you're not concerned that this in some way limits the sustainability message and the breadth of the message that concept is able to communicate, and its ability to connect with communities on a broader scale?
Right. Thank you for that question. So because we had the same idea, we only have 10 suites. We are aware of that. But that is why we have created our Open Day initiative, right? It happens once a week when our resort turns over, which is an opportunity for local communities, schools in NEOM, and other partnering universities to partake in that experience that we're promising our guests. They will be able to come into our research correlate, Al-Ilm, and really participate in interactive workshops, learn about our philosophy, being one with nature, a life of eternal knowledge, and really, become the next generation of coral enthusiasts, of subaquatic travelers, kind of taking our message onto a greater scale and beyond the borders of our resort.
Dimitris.
Yeah, my question is similar to Guy's, actually. When you're asking me to pay $35,000 a night, do you actually pitch that I'm actually contributing to coral rejuvenation and giving back to nature, or you just want to make a lot of money?
No, so as a guest at Al Marjan, you have the opportunity to participate in that coral regeneration. That is why we designed a coral nursery first and then the hotel second. So we're actually creating opportunities and activities for our guests to participate in workshops, to support the coral modular nurseries that we have on our roofs and really learn and bring that philosophy beyond our borders. We've created a guest itineraries based on your origin, where we can educate you on coral nurseries, whether that's in your region or other opportunities for you to live a more sustainable lifestyle that aligns with our philosophy as well with NEOM's philosophy as well.
Maybe one final question. Colin?
Yeah, can you explain what you mean when you say when our resort turns over?
So as we have curated, we know that the operations are rather challenging in an underwater setting. We have decided to offer fixed packages to our guests, which we have elaborated in the investors deck as well. So we would offer 2-day packages and then 4-day packages. So on the nights where there is no guests in the resort, we would open up that research core light to the local schools. And just underline why we offer fixed packages, just to streamline operations, to ensure also that the guests have the full of what they can experience in our resort. And this just smoothens out the operations and make it much more feasible. Instead of guests with checking in, staying for 1 night, for 3 nights, and having that all cross over, this would also ensure that the community would grow among the guests. If guests stay together for 2 nights or in that same experience, it would nurture this community spirit among the guests staying in the resorts.
All right, so as with the other team, I can't wait to stay in something like this, but I don't belong to that 1%, so I need a commitment right now that you give me a complimentary night stay.
Done.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cornell, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're up to our 4th team, ladies and gentlemen, almost there. We have Hotelschool The Hague in collaboration with Nanyang University from Singapore.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember the release of the cinematic masterpiece of Avatar? Let's see a show of hands. How many of you have seen it? Yeah, I'm seeing lots of hands, myself, my team included, actually. Well, what many of us don't know is that there was actually a bigger message behind that movie. It was meant as a call for action to protect the planet. Because there they depicted an ecotopia, a world where locals live in harmony with nature. They really cherish it, protect it, unlike exploiting it, which is what we do now. And it's this vision that ignited the creation of Nexus. But at Nexus, you're not merely just the observer. No, no. We throw you into an immersive realm through gamification.
where you are going to be an active participant on a mission to save the planet.
Welcome to Nexus. The game begins now.
So, Sylvia, what exactly is Nexus? Is it a game?
It's so much more than that. Nexus is a unique gamified experience that takes place into an eco-resort in the Saudi Arabian desert. In our Nexus playground, nature and technology are merged in order to stimulate and empower individuals to make sustainable contributions. We achieve this while using mixed reality to create gamified environments to stimulate sustainable awareness.
You are probably wondering, what is mixed reality? Mixed reality is where the boundaries between reality and imagination blur. It is a conversion of VR and AR, where the digital and the real object coexist and interact, creating a real, extraordinary world where you can play real-life missions.
Our game structure draws inspiration from the hero's journey, which is a storytelling framework where the hero embarks on adventures, confronts challenges, and ultimately undergoes 5 stages of personal transformation. Our first stage is the hero's call to adventure. So dear jury members, it's finally time now to open your boxes with your essential equipment for these exciting missions. You will find your survival map and your VR glasses. So on 1, let's all put your glasses on. 1, 2, 3.
And boom, you're in the game. Your first mission, should you choose to accept, is a thrilling game of treasure hunt. But here's the twist. The very treasure that you're looking for is the key that you'll be using to open your rooms.
Are you settled into your rooms yet? Well, don't get comfortable just yet. The adventure is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine yourself physically ziplining through a burning forest fire. It is hot, it is real, it is happening. Feel the thrill, feel the adrenaline. You must escape with your teammates before time runs out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 3rd stage of our game. It is called The Abyss, and it is meant to catapult you into a physical dilemma, a moral dilemma where you as a person come out and grow and flourish as a phoenix.
Oh my God, it sounds really thrilling, Priscilla. I can feel the goosebumps on my skin, and I'm not even there. But let's see where it actually takes place. Welcome to the Hub. This is where every day at Nexus begins and ends. Here, as a player, you're going to be introduced to your storyline, and you're going to decide on your mission based on one of our 27 activities. Here, you're also going to meet like-minded adventurers who are going to form your team. And together, you're going to come at the end of each day to reflect on the missions and count the points and see who ended up on top of the leaderboard.
Take a look at our facilities. You can choose to stay in either one of our hotel rooms located in the 3 structures column, or a more immersive glamping experience around the dome. And at the end of each day, you can visit one of our F&B outlets to recharge yourself.
Isn't Nexus pretty cool? But you must be wondering, is it sustainable? Well, we boast fully sustainable and circular infrastructure where we harness renewable energy, reduce our water usage, and even recycle our waste into nutrients. And this, combined with our cutting-edge irrigation and nutrient technology, will allow us to regenerate the surrounding 25,000 square meters of desert in the next 7 years. Now, where do you come in? You can play an active role in the growing of these plants, helping to regenerate the desert and also offset your carbon footprint. And this isn't the only thing that we track. As a player, you will be provided with a limited budget of resources, such as in water and electricity. And should you exceed this, you just might find yourself at the bottom of the leaderboard. Who doesn't love a little competition?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are environmentally sound, but are we socially sustainable too? The answer to that is yes, absolutely. We at Nexus believe that people are the heart of our philosophy, and that is why we extend a welcoming hand to local communities and schools by offering one-day compressed, immersive, gamified programs to all these people to offer them the same gamification experience, as well as the fact that we also believe in inclusive growth fostering. And that is why we also reach out to local businesses, suppliers, as well as our own employees, creating the Nexus impact in all the communities that we touch.
And now let's talk about Nexus recipe for change. It's not a secret to any of us that experience has the strongest impact on the human brain. We all know that. Because just looking at nature is not the same as being in an actual forest. And it's by bringing that experience to you and harvesting its power through the virtual and the physical in our gamified experience that at Nexus we're able to create long-lasting mindset change.
But now, let's talk numbers. From you, investors, we would need an investment of 85 million euros for construction costs, VR and AR software and hardware, and energy systems. Let's say we get this money by tomorrow. Nexus will be ready to open by 2028. We have also projected an ADR of 2,750 euros per night, which includes accommodation, full board, as well as activities. And we have projected an NPV of 15.7 million euros and a return on investment for you of 6%. This is also a great opportunity for you to invest in the booming mixed reality market, which is expected to grow at a CAGR of 78%. So, to conclude, Nexus is a never-seen-before concept, which combines technology, hospitality, and sustainability. This blend is reflected in our unique team, which is multidisciplinary and with a very diverse background. But what sets us apart is the timing and relevance of our concept. If there is ever a time to invest in a gamified experience, that time is now. Invest in the future. Invest in Nexus today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything on the gamification? Karin?
Yes, I'd be very interested to hear from you. Who do you think the target market is for Nexus?
I would be more than happy to answer that question. When we designed this concept, we were looking straight away just at gamers. But we realized that the market potential is so much more than people who sit behind their computer. Because what we are selling is an experience that can be enjoyed by couples, by teams, and even corporate companies. We want to target mainly countries of the Gulf, especially, of course, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. But we also see market potential in bigger markets such as the US and South Korea. And we mainly want to target older Gen Z and younger millennials who are ready for this thrilling experience and also have the money to pay for it. I hope this answers your question.
Dimitris.
Yeah, that's just, I'm not a gamer, so that's fascinating.
We can change that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. Have you actually thought to ditch the whole hospitality component and just build an experience hub where you can introduce gaming, not gamble, but gaming, to a completely new generation of gamers and kind of create a hub of experiences? Because you're asking for our money, right? Everybody here. So I think that your concept could have enormous adaptability and growth if you ditch the hospitality part and you just focus on the experience gaming hub in various parts of the world. Have you thought about that?
Of course. I would like to take the question. Thank you for the question. Definitely, we thought about it at the beginning of our brainstorming sessions, for sure. What we wanted to do with also implementing, for example, accommodation, is to really implement that full immersion into the nature. As the theme of this year was also one with nature, we really wanted to stress that. And we thought that if a person every day has to, for example, go back to their traditional hotel room, even within a couple meters away from the structure itself, it wouldn't have the same impact. And as we mentioned, we really aim for this mindset change that obviously is already in itself quite hard to achieve in such a perhaps short amount of time, if a few days. So that's why it's such an intense experience that really aims to, through all these experiences and activities, aims to have a very impactful impact on the mindset.
But as you mentioned, we've also definitely considered the huge potential that this idea has, and therefore we have also considered compressed one-day pop-up events around the world to kind of just let people experience this very exciting and immersive adventure storyline experience. Priscilla, did you want to add something?
Oh yeah, just to add to that, yes, it was just basically pop-up events. So we are very open to expansion, and we are really ready to partner with brands, especially like fashion brands, for example, to design game suits, and for example, to have different locations in all the different parts of the world. So Nexus pop-up events was one of our trial phases before actually instituting a physical event in NEOM. Yeah.
Any final question from the jury? Paul. There you go.
Thanks, guys. That was very interesting. I'm just interested to hear because what I can see that game that you've invented, which was great for us, thank you, but you'll need to evolve that continually. And have you thought how much you will actually invest in the future, or it'll be an ongoing cost into how much you actually have to invest in creating new games and keeping that really fresh and energetic, particularly if you're going to do pop-ups? You know, they want to see a new game with new players, which I assume is going to be a pretty big job for you.
Well, we actually have considered it. Thank you so much. In our slide deck and also in our finance, you can see that we plan to revamp it every 5 years. Right now, that's what we plan for. So every 5 years, we will change the game structure to keep it exciting and keep the people, rolling in. But there's so much potential for a business model like this, because think about the movie industry, the reality shows, everything. Because if, let's say, there's a big movie coming out from Marvel, we can bring them on board and say, hey, for 2 years, we're going to do a Marvel-related movie experience with, of course, elements of nature to still stress that part. So there are basically no limits for this concept to keep on being revamped and to address new audiences. I hope that answers it.
Dimitris, you and I are going to try that, huh? Huh?
The zip line.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hotelschool The Hague in collaboration with
Thank you
Nanyang
so much,
University.
everyone.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Clicker. Sylvia. Thank you. All right. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm incredibly proud that they're here. First-time contestants of this challenge, all the way from Milano, Politecnico di Milano. Good luck.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Buon pomeriggio.
Every day, a designer wakes up, grabs his coffee, and tries to solve a global problems of our times. We decided to do the same, so we traveled from Italy to this stage to present you our hospitality regenerative concept. Our project actually is ready to be realized. We designed it ourselves in the past few months, so that it's scalable, investable, of course, but most important, has a big positive impact on nature.
Did you know that marine and coastal tourism constitutes 50% of the world tourism industry?
Well, I mean, they're here, so what do you think?
Yes, you are right. But did you know that it is the main cause of sea pollution? Do you ever think about it? Do you care?
We do care, and as member of the coming generation of leaders, we really want to do something about it.
We're Elisa, Giulia, Rosanna, and Davide, a group of interior design students who aim to redefine hospitality through sustainable design strategies. And we're doing it here today through our concept.
This is ostraca. The name comes from the union of two words. We have host and ostrica, an Italian word that refers to oysters. In fact, our inspiration draws directly from the ocean, with the cleaning activity of oysters, that while filtering waters, can turn adversity into shiny pearls.
Ostraca is the first floating resort entirely dedicated to sustainable diving and sea adventures. We aspire to inspire individuals and especially the new generation of divers and sea lovers, offering them the chance to live the amazing and sustainable Pearl experience, a new type of guest journey. And on the other hand, they'll be able to clean the water from microplastics.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine sleeping cradle by the sea and waking up the next morning with a breathtaking view.
And at the same time, restoring marine life conditions. How is that possible, you may ask? Well, there's a microplastic filter integrated in the electric motor of each mobile suite, our Strakas, so that the more you travel, the more you clean. And after taking care of the ocean, are you ready to dive in?
You'll be able to use last generation equipment and obtain your diving certificate thanks to our local instructor. Or if you already have one, like you, Mr. Hutchinson, you could dive right in.
Day or night, you can choose from the available destinations, and your personal skipper, supported by an artificial intelligence, will lead you to discover the wonders of the coral reefs.
From there, you will be able to dive in 100% sustainable way with local guides who will help you to collect unforgettable memories.
And once on the surface, you have your comfortable shell waiting for you, ready to give you moments of pure relaxation as an immersive coral shower that feels like a sensory oasis under a waterfall that recreates this way of the ocean.
And in the evening, after tasting local flavors, under the sky full of stars, relive and share your experience in the comfort of your Straka with immersive projections.
Wow, all of this sounds really cool, right? But what about the microplastics?
Well, some of them will be managed by the resort itself into the Microplastics Lab, an educational experience for all ages that engages visitors in understanding plastic pollution. Interactive exhibits, demonstration or filtration, or entertaining environmental activities bring the guests to create sustainable products, like this small Straka, or the ones you have in your boxes, symbolizing their, but also ours, and your commitment to the environment.
And another part of microplastics will be sold to local companies to create something useful for the community, and some will also help scientific research.
Ostraka is an extremely feasible project with a modular design that allows you to have a variable number of mobile suites. At the same time, it is adaptable to different contexts, relying on already existing services to support the local economy, or bring in services where necessary. Ostraka is also easily disassemblable and so removable, leaving no footprint on the ecosystem.
To open the first Ostraka resort in the Gulf of Aqaba in 2026, we ask you for 55 million euros with a payback time of 6 years and a return on investment of 17%, with an average net cash flow per year of 9 million euros. And then, gradually, we want to expand into similar locations as schools and bays, because Ostraka's goal is to gradually create a global system and a proactive community.
Well, at this point, your question may be, why should I invest in Ostraka? Well, Ostraka is not science fiction, but a solid and necessary project that answers to a tangible problem, completely based on a circular life cycle design that makes the project circular, and using already tested technologies and offering an amazing and never seen before to guests that will lead them to be really one with nature.
No matter where you came from, we are all connected to the sea. We might say that we are all in the same boat. When we protect our oceans, we are protecting our futures. So it's time to act and change course.
Are you ready to set sail?
See you on board! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions for Ostraka? Looking for a mic.
Fantastic how a Polytechnico school has given so much attention to the customer journey. You talked about the microplastics. So that technology already exists today in motors to...
I will take this one. Thank you for the question. Doing some researches, we found out that Suzuki, you all know Suzuki, last year launched on the market a microplastics collector called Lavalacqua. It's a system that can be integrated into the motor and that, with the net, collect microplastics. So it's an already existing technologies that we apply to hospitality.
Yeah, and we have other accessories to add to the boat to collect microplastics with other technologies.
Great if you can do that while sleeping on a fantastic boat.
Any other questions? Haitham.
Question on the numbers. Can you remind me again, what was the NPV?
I go back if you want.
NPV is 63 million euros.
63 million.
Yeah.
Take me through that quickly. How did you arrive at 63 million?
We, thank you for that question. We made all, add all the revenue that that comes to us, and from the first year to the 7th year of the investment, because we think with our 7th year investment.
Okay, you've got a 17% ROI up there, and you've got 19% on.
Yes, the data on the investor decks are wrong because we, on the last time we checked the data and we see that they were wrong. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
I think, first of all, very nicely done, especially coming from the institute you do, and then kind of integrating it with the whole hotel industry. Well done and well presented. One of the slides one saw, you showed different formations of the boat, yeah, in terms of how they would be parked and how they could be moved. All these numbers you've put together, the business idea is that you're creating a certain number of boats that will travel all around the world, or you're saying you're going to scale the boat itself and have it all over the world? How does the numbers stack up from that perspective?
The economics data, is that your question, are based on our resort that has 40 structures. So the numbers corresponds to the operation, a complete full resort of 40 straka. Of course, our idea is that you can have a variable number of strakas. So if you want to have a smaller resort, you can have a number of straka that is not 40 but less. And if you want more, you can do it because the design is modular. Our marina is made of blocks that can be assembled in, to implement the number of strakas. And yeah, but the economics in the investor decks are made on 40 strakas.
Thank you. You did present the idea of sustainability very well, so well done there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, well done. Thank you very much. Politecnico Milano.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. That completes the 5 pitches. And of course, now this jury has the incredible difficult task to come up with an actual winner. And that's what we're going to be doing right now. So I'm going to take the jury to the jury deliberation room, where we have some time to have heavy discussions. And then tomorrow at 11:50, we will have the award ceremony right after the 2 interviews here on stage. So be here for some excitement. And there's some surprise guests on that as well. A quick get ready for 2024. We're taking this challenge to a next level whereby we say, okay, we're going to double the amount of tech, engineering, and design universities pushing for ready-to-market products. So we're going to really go for ready-to-market products, also including an incubator and kind of like World Cup qualifiers. So it will be very, very big. For now, I want to thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support to these teams. And I most certainly look forward to seeing you all tomorrow during the award ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you to Paul, and thank you to all of you, and a massive congratulations to all the students, because let's face it, all of those ideas were amazing. And also, what a great stage presence you all have as well. I'm really impressed with that. Such confidence, but the innovation was incredible. I also love the 2 Ryans. Well done, the 2 Ryans. So, as Paul mentioned, the winner will be announced at 11:45 tomorrow. I'm just here for a few housekeeping notes now. So just to let you know, there's some speed networking outside the exhibition area now. So do get involved with that. And then we have tonight's networking event. Now, it was originally going to be here, but it's going to be now at the Warner Brothers Abu Dhabi Curio by Hilton. So the buses will be leaving around 6:30 from outside the hotel lobby. So we look forward to seeing you all there. And of course, back here tomorrow, just before 9 a.m. sharp. So see you then, and thanks once again.